Now to our new series, Weight Loss Win. This morning, we're looking at the hidden medical conditions that may be keeping you from losing weight. One woman struggling more than 15 years with countless diets and workouts until finally a doctor discovered what was wrong. It is a story we first saw in the Washington Post, and ABC's Lara Spencer has more.
They are a picture of perfection, but behind the smile of mom Debbie Savage, a 15-year battle with weight loss.
Back when I was in middle school, I started gaining weight rapidly. I would work out. I was on several sports teams, and I was still gaining weight. And I didn't understand why. I just thought it was puberty or genetics.
She did everything right, eating a healthy diet and staying active, and yet no one could diagnose why she couldn't lose the pounds.
So I would go to the doctor once a year, and every year he'd tell me, your weight has gone up. And I would tell him, I am trying, and he'd say, oh, you're just not trying hard enough.
Well, you never like to see somebody that you love struggling with something.
It took not one, not two, but 5 doctors to finally diagnose Debbie. Dr. Neil Horlick finally figuring out what it was, polycystic ovary syndrome.
Women certainly could go undiagnosed for many years. The exact cause we think is unknown. There may be some genetic component.
PCOS symptoms include infertility, irregular or absent periods, excess facial hair and acne, and obesity.
I was so frustrated that years had gone by and this went unnoticed. But at the same time, I felt so refreshed that I had an answer.
Debbie switched to a paleo diet and was prescribed medicine to help with insulin resistance, a symptom of PCOS. Her medical mystery turned into a weight loss win.
Within 6 months, I lost 50 pounds. Our lives are so much fuller now because I have an answer. And I'm so thankful for that.
The diagnosis solving her struggle with infertility as well.
I was able to get pregnant. My husband and I now have twins. That was a surprise. we wouldn't have these 2 precious boys if it weren't for that.
For Good Morning America, Lara Spencer, ABC News, New York.
What an incredible story. ABC News senior medical contributor Dr. Jennifer Ashton joins us now with more. We saw what that diagnosis did for Debbie. How common is this disorder?
Well, we call this the most common but least well understood hormonal condition affecting reproductive age women. Anywhere from 5 to 20% of women have this. Gynecologists, endocrinologists see this every single day. In terms of making a diagnosis, it can be made as early as the teenage years. And it's not just one definitive test. You do a good history and physical exam. Oftentimes, blood hormone levels will point in this direction. Some doctors will get a sonogram, but the key is making a diagnosis so that it can be effectively managed.
Polycystic ovary syndrome, that's just one condition. There are others out there as well that people should be aware of.
Very long list. Probably the 3 most important for people to know about. Sleep apnea. This is often missed. We normally think of sleep apnea as going along with someone who's already overweight. It can go the opposite direction as well. Low thyroid or hypothyroidism, and definitely depression. So we need to think holistically here when we talk about weight gain.
And there are medications that you could be taking that could also contribute to being overweight.
Right, and we call them obesogenic medications. And I want to be clear, before we show this list, people are not to stop these medications if they're thinking that they're having a weight problem, because this doesn't affect every patient and this doesn't affect every single one of these medications. But we're talking about antidepressants, anti-seizure medications, some diabetes medication, ironically, some birth control pills or hormones that contain certain types of progesterone, and antihistamines. We're in allergy season. Big offenders. So again, I want to emphasize they're called obesogenic medications. It's not about stopping them, but it's a matter of looking really at the entire picture so that you can target the weight problem.
So what do you recommend for people who are struggling?
Well, look, it's not as simple as eat less and move more. We know that this is a complex problem. So you really need to think of the whole person. If possible, someone should work with a nutritionist and a doctor who's familiar with managing weight issues.
All right, Jen, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Really important information.